Alright guys, TacticalBeer back again today. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday so far, and today we want to talk about a number of different topics. The first one of which, the main one really being this Octane versus FaZe kind of drama that went down over the last couple of days. Pretty entertaining, classic Call of Duty stuff that we'll go into in the next couple of minutes here. Why it's the most entertaining esport in my opinion. Not only the game being fun to watch in my opinion, maybe Modern Warfare not as good as other ones have, but the whole Twitter drama stuff is just undefeated across all of esports. We'll get into that today. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, wanted to say that yes, the Minnesota event that was meant to be the Championship Sunday today is postponed to next weekend, as we talked about a couple of days ago, but the Amateur Challenges stuff, the CDC stuff, is still going on. As the Saint says here, Westus just got top 16 at the AM event 24 hours ago after talking about how they're better than half the CDL franchises. So, you know, we're going to talk about those results in probably a couple of days' time after everything settles down indeed. Thought this was kind of a funny tweet, but let's talk about this drama then that goes on. Before I get into the tweets, I wanted to set the scene for this clip. I'm going to show you guys actually a couple of clips. The first one of which being Octane on the CODcast. They were talking about how this roster came to form at the start of the season, and Octane says that, look, after the OpTic Gaming, well, after the 100 Thieves team of last season, Slasher and Kenny decided they were going to be a team of two over at the OpTic Gaming Los Angeles franchise, and Octane wanted to team with Enable, formerly on the 100 Thieves squad. They brought in Slacks, but all their other rosters fell apart, and well, he mentions Alec and he mentions Dylan, and those refer to Arcites and Envoy, was meant to be a team, but that fell through, and then they were kind of looking through the yellow pages, I suppose, to try and find players that they could potentially play with, one of which being FaZeBALLA that he mentions. The clip out of that, if you guys aren't aware of FaZeBALLA and what this guy is about, there's a pretty funny clip I'll share with you after that. So let's play the clip.
From the very, not want to say the very beginning, but like when I originally started to try to construct the roster, it was Alec and Dylan. And I mean, like everyone knows that at this point. And they got an offer from Chicago to go play there, and they left with, I want to say like 3 to 4 days until we had to submit a roster. So me, Ian, and Jerry were, and there was like also a lot of stuff that happened there, but I'm not going to get into it. So me and Jerry were sitting in TeamSpeak, and we were like, well, we are super giga-fucked, because there's like we were literally pulling up like a full-blown Wikipedia of like COD players that were like, we were just like fastball, like bro, we were just like, dude, everyone has a team. They're like, we are screwed. And we were looking at the TeamSpeak, and at the time, Brian was going to sign with Florida at the time, because obviously he lives there. He lives in Korea, yeah. Mm-hmm. He was going to sign with Florida at the time, like literally the following day. And we were in TeamSpeak, and I looked down, and he's in the channel underneath of us. I'm like, I'm just going to go, fuck it, dude. I'm just going to go ask Brian. So we go in there, he's like, yo, you want a team? And he's like, absolutely. So we were just like, all right, cool, we got Brian now. And then for some reason, no one hit up Damon, or like Damon wasn't even an option to a lot of people. I don't know what was going on with him, or like Chicago, or like anything about that at all. But Jerry ended up hitting up Damon, and he obviously didn't have an offer for whatever reason. So that was our roster.
You are awful, FaZeBALLA. Fucking trash. Awful, FaZeBALLA. You suck. What happened? You're not talking now, are you, bitch? Let's go. Fucking running it up. 6-0 last map. Are you kidding me? Embarrassing. Fucking pathetic. Get off my main stage. You don't belong here.
Hey, what's up? Yo, this is the Balla. Just got done playing a series against Unjustified Gaming. GG's to them. It got a little rowdy.
So when I saw this clip, I kind of just interpreted this as Octane just thinking of the first amateur player that kind of came to his mind. Not necessarily as a dig at FaZeBALLA. Maybe to some degree you could see it being in that way, but I guess he was looking through Pro League players from last year. FaZeBALLA was on the Pro League last year, and I think the Accelerate Gaming team. So I imagine he's kind of saying that look, they were looking through the players from last year, seeing who they could potentially play with, and FaZeBALLA was the first one that came to mind as a pretty, pretty well-renowned amateur player that's been in the scene for a number of years. Probably his most, famous or infamous moment, I guess, is when he lost the 1v1 to Kambo back ages ago. Given Karma's just retired, it's been in a lot of people's minds lately how that 1v1, I think it was CWL Atlanta, kind of saved the dynasty, a lot of people would argue. But, anyway, FaZeBALLA then comes out with this tweet. At Octane Sam, do not disrespect my name publicly and make jokes on CODcast if you have never played with me nor talked to me. I think I've done well for the rosters and opportunities I've had compared to a lot of people. You were the first name that came to mind for an amateur player. Didn't intend it as disrespectful. My apologies, brother. Then he comes back, oh, it's okay, I'm sure you did not mean it as disrespectful. Okay, do not disrespect my name publicly. I'm sure you didn't mean it as disrespectful. So, okay, a little bit of a contradiction here. I've always slandered my name as an amateur, but I think I've earned the respect of a pro, considering on LAN, I qualified when it mattered most, and what happened after is out of my control. So, you know, fair enough. He shares his lineman CDL card. It was pretty entertaining from, I guess, the Pro League qualifier event last year, where they made it into the Pro League, so fair enough. I just watched it, bro. He defo meant it as disrespect. This is FaZe, of course, former teammate of FastBaller and another well-known amateur-type player. Maybe he wants me to call him a pro, I don't know. Yeah, this guy didn't even follow you on Twitter, but so quick to say your name and laugh. This guy never showed respect to me either, even after making the league. Some pros got the biggest egos, grateful for the cool ones, though. I was laughing about the situation, not him. Secondly, I've rarely spoken to you in the first place, so I'm not sure how you have an issue or assume I have an ego. My apology was sincere. I don't need you white knighting my mentions telling me I wasn't. I'm honestly just tired of people always talking down on my brother, referring to FastBaller here. I remember when Karma had like 25k viewers calling Ethan, that's FastBaller, Trashballer, Assballer. I don't know why people always got his name in their mouth. Ethan just grinds and the people always try and be with for some reason hop off. And you know, it's just a funny exchange. I can't help cracking up. It just seems like FastBaller is such an easy name to meme on. You guys remember the Fast Clogger stuff of a couple of years ago when he gets dropped off his team and like clogged Beezy's toilet or whatever? We're not going to get into that today, but that was entertaining at the time. I just thought this entire thread was hilarious. And just to quickly mention, this is FastBaller's career achievements last year on this Accelerate Gaming team at the time. Made it into the Pro League, got a decent result of the Fort Worth Open side on Aspire after all that stuff went down, with FastBaller getting removed off the team, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, has had a decent result over his career, of course. But yeah, if you guys aren't aware of FastBaller, always entertaining stuff when he is around the scene. So grateful for him to be about, and maybe he'll get back into the Pro League at some point in the near future indeed. So few of the topics to discuss today as well. Wanted to discuss 60 Hz servers real quick. A couple of days ago we discussed how Clayster was saying how, yo, we're now on 60 Hz servers. They're playing on kind of the game battles type integration for their pros 10s and also their scrims. Really cool. So yeah, Octane says 60 Hz servers hit different. A lot of pros saying like, look, it feels like a completely different game. It's just on another level to what we have experienced. However, we also have the other side of it, right? Of these silent changes that were being talked about. Game changes, most important time of the year. Must be the only esport that has a 9-month life cycle, and during those 9 months, an update changes the meta drastically at least 3 times. I can't believe with franchising this is still allowed to happen. But then we have this. Looney says to Temp and Slasher, for sure, 2 different games. And the discussion around this has been, supposedly, that on the 60 Hz servers, the game plays different, i.e. the spawns are different and things about the game are different on the 60 Hz servers they're playing on compared to the 12 Hz servers that they would normally play on, since Activision and Infinity Ward got this whole 60 Hz thing off the ground for the professionals that we talked about a couple of days ago. No doubt about it. How do I even practice? I don't know how to practice. 12 Hz has some weird spawns, but on 60 Hz you are literally playing a different game. Yep, wonderful stuff here. Practiced for 8 months now. I've got 2-ish, not even there because there's no way of telling you how to actually practice to get ready for the biggest event. Lol, gotta just laugh it off. Scrimming different spawns versus different teams and different herds. This is crazy, son. So I don't know what's going on here. Of course, I trust the pros. I trust their judgment to be able to play the game and tell whether things are different. It just seems incredible to me that supposedly on a 60 Hz server, the spawns and the game operates in a different manner to the 12 Hz. I can't even, you know, I haven't seen any proof of this, right? Like, I don't know if this is an absolute guaranteed 100% fact. I can't even see how that would even be possible. But it seems like that's what the pros are talking about right now, which is crazy to even talk about because we discussed these silent spawn updates the other day. Maybe that was just, some people are saying that yes, that happened on both 12 Hz and 60 Hz, but now some of the pros are kind of saying that maybe that was just a 60 Hz thing all along. I have no idea. Seems like everything that possibly goes right in the game is all of a sudden also a negative, right? So 2 steps forwards, 3 steps back, like who knows, right? So anyway, Scrap says the following: people need to be held accountable for all these little things and how bad the game is. Straight up, the game should be far better than they are. Instead, they're just getting worse year after year. Ain't said anything on here before this beforehand, but stuff needs to change. So yeah, incredible. I thought at the beginning of the season that pros were not allowed to tweet stuff like this. Maybe they get fined for stuff like this, but you know, it's nice to see pros being vocal at least of their criticisms of the game. But in more positive news, we have this from CDL Intel Crone over there. There's hope for COD 2020. This was the image that he posts here from Chance, that's Morks on the Florida Mutineers, over at the Reddit. He says, stay hopeful guys, the devs over at Trek are really interested in making next year a great year for competitive. Now, okay, yes, every pro has said this before, like every single title ever, but then again, Trek has kind of proved that they've managed to do this in the past. Nope, just meetings with the dev to discuss competitive philosophy. That's, you know, a good couple of words to put together, maybe buzzwords, but sounds good in theory. There's more to it, of course, and to be honest, I don't even know if I was allowed to share what I just shared. I know, you know, some of you are very hopeless about the competitive scene. The devs over at Trek have our back, and we've seen tweets over the last few days from some of the guys over there like Matt Scronce and Tony Flame discussing how Karma's retirement has affected them and what a big deal that has been. Guys over at Trek that have attended a lot of the events. I remember Tony Flame was at Anaheim last year that I went to. Like, he was there watching the event and loved to see his game being played on the main stage, right? Really cool to see compared to the Infinity Ward devs. You have no idea, like, what is the Toronto Ultra? Is it some sort of basketball team, right? So, yeah, it's just a strange situation. And then we have this whole drama that I just wanted to finish up the video with here. Regarding tens, we talked about Donnie a couple of minutes ago and another thing. He says here, stuff's so pathetic, I'm about to start exposing people, can't even play a 10 series. So saying that, like, you know, people don't have the drive, don't have the motivation anymore to even play this title right now. Maybe it makes sense given the stuff we talked about a couple of minutes ago with all the spawns being messed up and whatever. But I thought this is kind of a funny response because since it comes back to this, now you know how I felt for months, saying like, you know, no one wants to play 10s or whatever. I had the drive, but no one else did. That's kind of what Sense is implying. Then Temp comes back with his own teammate, right? Let's not forget. He says, what? People are just not on the game right now. You just weren't getting picked. Completely different. So, you know, absolutely savages Sensor. It's pretty bad how much, you know, this guy gets picked on, man. I do feel for him at times. And then we have this whole thing. Imagine getting paid. So I think this is another tweet from Temp, which was deleted along a similar thing. Imagine getting paid, how some people do not try and grind or get better. Some people's mentality at the top has been so complacent, it's disgusting. People act like they're invincible and use the game state as an excuse to why they suck rather than trying to improve Adam Bro, and he doesn't follow through, but maybe one day we'll see something like that. So intrigued to hear your thoughts on all these things down in the comment section below. What do you think about this whole 12Hz, 60Hz stuff? Is there any legitimacy to that? And do you think Parasite's right that a lot of the guys at the top are getting complacent right now? And yeah, a difficult spot for the professionals and the amateur guys. We have the fast baller drama and all this kind of stuff. It seems like tensions are high right now amongst you know, Call of Duty players more generally, and it's unsurprising given the state of the game, I suppose. But we've got another event this weekend, so we'll have to see how that goes, and I'm sure there'll be some more tweets like this coming out very soon indeed. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.